Hi, welcome to another reading vlog. I just said bye 25 seconds ago, like less than that. It is Monday evening. Today I finished Seven Blades in Black, which I talked about at the end of my last vlog. I've been working on Steel Crow Saga, which I'm going to be hopefully finishing in the next couple of hours. I started another audiobook, which is Dead Voices by Catherine Arden, but I might not finish it this week. I might start a couple of things, because if you didn't know, I read 31 books in 31 days in January, and I'm kind of on track to read 29 for 29 in February. So I don't want to read more than that. I want to kind of save them to end in March to help me get towards 31 and 31 in March. So I might start a couple of audiobooks and not finish them till the start of March, but we'll see. I am going to read tonight after I finish Steel Crow Saga, hopefully, Spectacle, Volume 1 by Megan Rose Gedris, and then after this I'm gonna pick up both The Gallows Black by Sam Sykes, which is the novella that comes after Seven Blades in Black, and also The Girl King by Mimi Yu, which was one of my TBR jar draws for February, and it's gotten the paperback's gotten a bit heat affected, so it's a bit crunchy. Love that. But I'm gonna pick that up this week as well, so I'm hoping to either DNF, because I know a lot of people did, so if I'm also not enjoying this, I'll DNF this, but either finish this or DNF it this week, read this, read The Gallows Black, finish Steel Crow Saga obviously, then also read Upright Women Wanted, hopefully, if it comes in. And that'll be my 29th out of 29 days. But if it doesn't come in time, like if it gets to Friday, or if it gets to like Wednesday and still hasn't shipped, because it's coming from Booktopia, I'm keeping an eye on shipping, I might just finish out Dead Voices, the audiobook, and that'll be my 29th and 29th. Otherwise, I'll get really close to that and start another audiobook and get really close to, you see what I mean, and leave them for March. But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna finish Steel Crow Saga, but I'll come back with my thoughts later. Okay, so I'm about to go to bed, but I just finished Steel Crow Saga by Paul Kruger. It was really good. I think I'm going to settle on a 4-star. There was some bits that were 5-star-ish, but I feel like just overall there are a couple of things that kind of made it a 4-star. It's so good. It's like an upper 4-star. But there are a couple of things that kind of stopped it from being a 5-star. So essentially this is a post-war, near the end of the war, between a bunch of countries that are loosely like Korea, China, Japan, the Philippines, Asian countries, ranging from Southeast Asian to East Asian, and they're all kind of represented in these couple of countries, and we follow 4 main characters who all are tied up in this plot, I guess, to get the last remaining royal member, the Prince of Tamada, which is based on Japan, back to his throne. And so we follow like a sergeant who was meant to be part of his retinue, who was like working to get him there. Then we also follow a thief who gets caught up with the princess of the Shang country, which is, I think is China loosely. And mainly you can kind of tell them because of the cuisines they talk about and like other cultural aspects. I'm pretty confident that Shang is generally based on China. And so the princess or one of the princesses of this group, of this country, and a thief who's from a tiny place in like a Korea, like they're called Jongsan, I think, and they're loosely Korea. They kind of are teaming up to capture the prince. And so they're all kind of in on this plot. That's all a thing. And lots of things are happening, and people compare this to like Pokemon. Like, it had Pokemon as a comp title, kind of, not comp title, but like a descriptor for it, because there's this magic system where they can like merge with animals, and then they become like evolved animals, like in the evolution, is it like a Pokemon evolution of animals, and then they can be like sent out, and they're like part of your soul, so you can like send them out, take them back in, kind of thing. It's very Pokemon-esque. And I really enjoyed the magic system. I thought the magic system was super clever. I really enjoyed the cultural aspects and the like all of that stuff. There's so many queer characters and relationships. That was amazing. There's a trans side character who has a really good redemption arc. I really liked that. A female romance. Something else I can't remember. But the one thing that I struggled with was that mainly two of the main characters, I think their voices didn't differentiate very well, and that's Tala and Lee. And there were some things that clued me in later that I should have picked up on earlier that would have helped me differentiate them. But in my head, they were very similar, even though they probably weren't described that way. But my head visualized I don't visualize very much, but kind of visualized them pretty similar. So I had a hard time telling their narrative style and voice apart. It's not first person, it's closed third person, but I would often like mix them up a little. Julan and Jimuro were both distinct to me. Obviously, Jimuro is the one main character, or main perspective. Julan also, I had a strong visual idea of, but Lee and Tala kind of blended together in my head a lot. But in fact, Tala is very like war-minded sergeant. I imagine her more butch, like in appearance, I guess. Lee, I also kind of imagine like that, but then it also talks about her wearing a lot of skirts and dresses, which I just don't imagine because she's a thief. Like, in my head it didn't go, so I just kind of ignored that information, and I kind of blended it. Lee and Tala really blended in my head. And so like it wasn't that I wasn't keeping track, but just at times I'd be like, wait, wasn't that a thing that happened to that one, kind of thing. I just kind of like their voices weren't distinct enough. But like that's a really minor thing. I do think also that the ending wasn't as strong as the rest of the book. I feel like it was a really good action heist. Like I'm not a visualizer. I keep saying this. Like, I'm not particularly a big visualizer when it comes to reading, but I could see how the action scenes would play out, which I really liked. It was very action movie-esque, but I felt like the ending was a bit anticlimactic. I don't know, I just expected something a little bit more from it. But I also just read Seven Blades in Black, which I think had the perfect climax of an ending. So maybe that kind of influenced that. But anyway, this is like a high 4. I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was really, really good, and I would definitely recommend it to like everyone. I'm pretty confident it's a standalone, or if there's going to be more, they're going to be companion novels. But like, this is so good. so good. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed now. That took me longer than I thought, but I kind of got distracted watching TV with the fam. But I'm going to pick up, I think I'll pick up Spectacle and Gallows Black tomorrow. And then if I can also start the Girl King, that would be good. I'm gonna try and do all that tomorrow. Like finish Spectacle and the Gallows Black, and then try and also read with the Girl King. Anyway, that's my plan. For now, I'm gonna go to bed. Good morning. I'm just having some coffee, and then I'm gonna shower and get to work. But hey, I'm watching a Books and Lala vlog, her contemporary fun vlog, because we love that. I'm also starting Spectacle because we love that. I also put in my bookmark and my sticky tabs into the Girl King. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to take this into work with me. I think I might. But really we're going to be prioritizing today Spectacle, but I won't take that into work. And the Gallows Black, which is my phone. But hey, might as well take the big book into. Why not? Sometimes my afternoon tea breaks are very productive. My aim is to read a lot today. I have work, obviously my day job, and then I have a sleepover tonight. But it's a relatively chill day. Like, I feel like the last couple of weeks I've been so busy, but this week's kind of chilled out a tad. But I better go keep getting ready for work.
Functions are slow. I can't explain it. Robbie keeps telling me to go to a doctor, but like I don't know how to explain it. I just sound crazy. Not crazy, that's the wrong word, but like.
So it's Tuesday night or evening. I'm gonna go to a yoga class soon, but today I read quite a few pages of Dead Voices by Catherine Arden audiobook. It's a middle grade horror. I have about 40 minutes left of the audiobook, but I'm gonna leave it for now. So I also then picked up Verify by Joelle Charbonneau. And I've read the first 47 pages of that, so not much, but I'm going to continue on that tomorrow. I also have read the first chapter of The Gallows Black by Sam Sykes. I'm going to come back to that later tonight. But now that I'm home, I'm going to finish Spectacle Volume 1. I'm like just over 2/3 maybe of the way, or a third of the way through. Just over a third of the way through. 2 out of 5 chapters in. So I'm like 2/5 of the way through is what I am. So I'm gonna continue that now and finish that, and then jump back to Gallows Black, which I have on my phone. And then maybe start the Girl King tonight if I can finish the Gallows Black. But the Gallows Black is like a 200-page novella, so we'll see. But I am gonna go to a yoga class sometime tonight. I also read the update for An Unauthorized Fan Treatise by Lauren James, which I was talking about in my last vlog. It's a serialized murder mystery, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm now 64% of the way through, but I'm up to date, so that'll just be slowly progressing as they come out every week. But let's crack in on Spectacle. So the last like 15 minutes I just finished Spectacle, book 1. This was so good. It was so good. So it's in this really interesting art style, which you can kind of see on the cover, and it follows twins Anna and Kat, and Kat dies. She's murdered and comes back as it says in the back, as a very demanding ghost, and Anna's trying to figure out who killed her, and they're all in this circus. It's sassy and funny, a little bit gory. It's just so good. I'm gonna have to request book 2 now. I know book 3 hasn't come out yet, but I'm pretty sure book 2 is out. It's only a 3-volume series, I believe, but it's so good. I give it 4 stars. And And then I'm gonna get ready for yoga and continue working on The Gallows Black. That was what I was looking for. That was the word in my head. So last night I finished The Gallows Black. Really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was fun. It was big for a novella, like 0.5 novella size. I thought it was actually really well plotted, really good. If you were wanting a good introduction to the universe of that series, I think it would be amazing. And then last night I also started and got like 40 pages into The Girl King. I'm now 76 pages in. I'm not loving it yet, but I don't think I'm ready to DNF it yet. I want to give it a good chance. I feel like it's just feeling like a 3-star read, not like I'm absolutely bored. But it's just maybe not moving as fast as I would prefer. There is one sister as a POV character, I guess. It's all like third person limited. One of the main characters, she really struggles with her own self-confidence and body image in particular. And I vaguely mentioned this on Goodreads, but I have a hard time reading from characters with body image issues. Not because I have body image issues, but because I feel like when it's portrayed, I get this weird like double bluff of like, I don't have body issues, but it makes me feel like society thinks I should. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I know I'm fat, but like I don't hold like negative connotations to that. But when I read about characters like obsessing about their weight or appearance, I'm like, should I be obsessing about my weight and appearance? And I just don't, but I get this weird disconnect of like, maybe I should be. And it's just really weird to read about. Sets off weird brain thinkings. And yeah, one of the characters is really like that. She's very like, she's supposed to be the pretty one, but she's all full of self-doubt and stuff. And thinks the other one's more pretty. And the other one thinks she's the pretty one. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't even understand quite yet what her role is in the overall narrative, so. And I'm like 70 pages in. I'm aiming to try and get to page 300 tonight. It might be a stretch, but I'm going to try real hard. Because I think that would be a good position to be in going into tomorrow. So I'm going to aim to chapter 25 tonight. We'll see how it goes. Hey. Hi, it is Thursday night. I had some packages arrive today, so I've got a bit of a haul for you. I also went to the library. So I picked up from the library a couple of Rick Riordan Presents books. So we have Stormrunner. Oh, I'm gonna myself bleed. Hope I didn't put that on any of these books. Lol. We have Stormrunner by J.C. Cervantes. This is a Mayan folklore, and then we also have the sequel, The Firekeeper. If you saw earlier in this vlog, or was it last vlog, I picked up a couple of other Rick Riordan Presents from the library. So this is the next ones of those. And then the actual whole haul, like I bought these whole, we have All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. This is a pirate mermaid kind of story. She's from an island kingdom. She has soul magic. And then things go horrifically wrong, as happens in most books. I know this is the Outbreak book for February, March, maybe March. I'm very, very excited for this. It looks gorgeous. And then we have Belle Revolt by Lindsay Miller. This is a French style historical fantasy, and there's like a girl swap, and there's a side female romance that like is barely there, I believe, but there's a spec main characters and non-binary main characters as well, I think, maybe. some good rep in here. I'm excited to read this, and it's not too long. I thought it might have been a bit chunky, but it's chunkier than it looks. It's like 370 pages, but it's very floppy. And then we have The Beast. This is Heart of Flames by Nikki Papato, which is the sequel to, what's the first book called? Crown of Feathers, which I enjoyed, but I thought it like kind of screamed debut-ish. It just had some info dumping stuff that at first I was like, ugh, but then like halfway through the book it really picked up and the ending was great. So I decided to pick up this in the hope that it will follow on more on the frame of the ending rather than on the info dumpy start. There's two girls, they were sisters, and they're essentially Phoenix Riders is the whole kind of thing, and this is like 600 pages, but I'm incredibly excited for this. I'm pretty sure it's just a duology. So although this is a beast, that's it, that's the series done. In comparison to that, we have a teensy novel, and this is Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey, who wrote Magic for Liars, which I love. I'm going to be reading this today. Cute. It's a Tor book. Yeah, I'm very excited to read this. It's relatively short. It's like 170 pages. Classic Tor novella. And I'm gonna be reading this tonight. I'm really excited for this. It looks so good. It's a western. The back says, fight the state, be a librarian. The future American Southwest is full of bandits, fascists, and queer librarian spies on horseback trying to do the right thing. And that was the tagline, which I just love to pieces. Why am I not in focus? There we go. So I'm very excited to read this. And then one I'm definitely going to be reading in March is Ink in the Blood by Kim Smejkal. This is a queer tattoo-based fantasy. And that spoke to me immensely. The underdust jacket is just plain black, but the aesthetic vibes of this are just so good. And tattoo magic. I'm so excited for this. This is like, yeah, on my March TBR. And then the final thing I picked up was Lady Hotspur by Tessa Gratton. I've been waiting for this to come in for ages. This is the like unofficial sequel to Queen's Venice Lear, as in it's another Shakespearean fantasy slow-paced retelling. I'm so excited for this. I don't know if it has some of the same characters. I honestly don't know, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. I'm very excited to read this bad boy. But I don't have direct plans for it yet, because it came out January 7th and it only just got to me, even though I pre-ordered it. And I just, we'll see. So Jesse got lunch today and he bought a pork crackle. And he didn't like it. I know the problem. It's at the sandwich place that sells these. They sell it in a tub, but they sell way more crackle than they sell like pork sandwiches. So they'd cook it on their own. That's why they like curled up. They wouldn't be cooked on a bit of meat. So they don't taste like much other than like salt and fat, but they're delicious. Mukbang. Good morning. It is Friday morning. I look a bit of a mess. I didn't finish Girl King last night like I wanted to, but we ended up, Jesse and I went to a yoga class, and then we had dinner, and then he had to pack for a trip he left on first thing this morning, so we went to Kmart to collect some bits and bobs, and by the time I got home I read a little bit while he packed, and then it was like bedtime and we had to get up really early this morning to take him to the airport. So and then so we did that. We got up at like 4 a.m. It was like 4:30 to get him to the airport. And then I came back and slept a bit more. So I do have to go to work soonish. I did say I was going in a bit late because I was going to sleep in. It's currently just after 9. But I'm going to read a bit while I drink my coffee and then go shower and go to work. I have work all day. But I definitely should be able to finish this today. And I'm hoping also finish Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey today because it's short. It should be fine. That's my plan. I do have the house to myself tonight, so once I get home from work at like 8 o'clock, I won't have anything else to do with my time other than read, and so it'll be great. But I do have to finish the Girl King. It was sitting somewhere between like a 3 and a 4 stars, but then I remembered the prologue, and suddenly things that were happening in the prologue came up again, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. It's so but I'm like so close to the end. I'm not going to DNF at this point. Like, I'm basically at the end. I've got less than 100, like 100 pages to go. Of a 500-page book, so I'm going to finish it. But it really went on so there's magic about like shaman kind of stuff. We have what are they called? Calls, or people who call or convene with calls. I don't know the terminology. They call them slipskins, but that's like a slur. Where they can like go in and out of animal bodies, and there's lots of different clans that all can do different ones, but they've essentially been wiped out. And we follow one of the last remaining guys. But our main princess, I guess, that we're following most of the time doesn't really have any magic. But there was this weird, very fae prologue that didn't make any sense and was incredibly confusing. And then I forgot entirely about it because it switched like tacks entirely. And now we're coming back to it and I hate it. I don't hate it. I just really like don't like the direction. It is, why is this focusing on my nose and only my nose? Holy hell. Like, oh, my whole face. Thank you. It's very alternate dimension fae, but they were like I don't know how to describe it. They just don't seem like real people. I'm pretty sure they're fae, not like human, but they have this very ethereal, holier than thou attitude that makes them just seem dumb, not like interesting. It makes them seem very shallow, and I'm just like, ugh. But there are some plot points that I think are going to carry on into book 2 that I'm really excited for. So I'm like, do I read book 2 or not? I don't know. It's going to really depend on how these last 100 pages go. But I'm going to crack in on that now. I've been meaning to vlog literally all evening and I keep forgetting. It's Friday night. I was trying to this morning. I had work all day. I did finish The Girl King today. And I got like 25% of the way through Angel Mage. And I'm now working on Upright Women Wanted, and I'm still convinced I'm going to try and finish it before I go to bed. Is it going to happen? I don't think so. I'm going to try, or at least get like as far through as I can. I've just been really distractible. Doing a lot of scrolling Twitter and shit. It is Girl King. I was going to tell you about Girl King. No, first I should say Angel Mage, Garth Nix. Loving it. 25% of the way through. Feel like not a whole heap has happened yet, but the world building is just so good. Oh, loving it. I'm listening to the audiobook and the narrator is really good as well. Girl King. Set it on 3 stars. Because, did I mention this morning that they kind of took a direction I really didn't enjoy. And I particularly didn't enjoy it when I got to kind of realised it was really unnecessary for it to be how it was, I guess. I don't know, I just thought it was really left of field. I didn't think it quite fit with everything else. If you've read it, it's the thing that was basically heavily alluded to in the prologue and then ignored for like 3/4 of the book. And then it comes up again and you're like, oh, right, that was the prologue. Yeah, you know, yeah. I just didn't like that component of the story. It wasn't my fave. But I am really interested in continuing because there are some things in this book that I really liked, including the villain origin story, I guess, component, and the like were-creature kind of stuff was really cool, and I definitely want to see more of Nassen's character and her like band of things. But I feel like a lot of the components were just underdeveloped a little, and the romance really didn't need to exist. Like, it was hardly there. It kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't really feel the chemistry. I think that could have just been cut. But hey, I feel like that would have been stronger as just like a friendship rather than a romance, because the romance just, yeah, didn't make sense to me. I think it would have been more meaningful and powerful as just a friendship, and they didn't cross the line into randomly kissing. It just kind of undermined it. And yeah, overall I liked the two main characters arcs, and I'm really interested to see how they continue on into book 2. But I do think a lot of plot elements were a bit undercooked, which I think is like a debut thing. I think as this author writes more books, it will get better. But I did enjoy some aspects. There were some things that were meh. But I feel like the things that I did like, especially like the villain origin story and then how that's going to play out, is going to have a big component in book 2. So I probably will pick up book 2. Plus the covers are gorgeous. So like, we ain't complaining. They'll look nice on my shelf. So I think I will pick up book 2. I'm not sure when exactly I'll get around to reading it. But I think I'm gonna get it because I did enjoy stuff that I think could do really well in book 2. And I don't want to just... I feel like I know some things are just like, as you hone your craft, you get better at. So people who are not debuts are going to do better at certain stuff. But so I want to give people like debut series a chance to get better past the first book. One that, like, there's only been a handful of books that I've like actively said no to continuing the series when I thought they were mediocre. Children of Blood and Bone 1. I just was like not interested at all. Like, I didn't feel connected to the characters or anything, and I just, like, afterwards I was like, I don't care. And Furyborn, which I didn't think, that's not a debut either. Children of Blood and Bone was a debut, but Furyborn wasn't. But that, I just actively really didn't like that book. So that's another one that I, like, actively went, no, we're not finishing that series. But I think we'll keep going with Empress of Flames. I'm pretty sure it's a duology, not a trilogy. And I feel like a lot of the things that I felt were underdeveloped in this one could really be pushed further in book 2. So I'm excited to read it. Anyway, at the moment I'm reading Upright Women Wanted. I'm 50 pages in. I was just eating some ice cream. So I'm going to go put the tub in the sink. And then try and keep reading more. Tomorrow, I was going to try and start it tonight. But you know what, we're not getting to the end of Upright Women Wanted tonight. My next read is going to be Woven in Moonlight. Which has the weirdest, most thick, lush pages, this copy. So confused, but I'm excited. Tomorrow I have the whole day to myself until like 10 o'clock when I go to work. So I will get lots of reading done, hopefully. I have to do lots of washing and other cleaning. And I have to film like 4 videos. But hey, we're going to do it. We're going to edit 2 of them. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So I'm going to check out here. Unless I somehow finish Upright Women Wanted before I go to bed. But I doubt it. And otherwise I'll come back in the morning with how that progressed. Oh my gosh, look at you. Oh, cute. Cute. This bitch has been bothering me all morning. Now that I decide to get out, she's snuggly. Yes, you're so silly. You're so silly. Oh, Zizi, you're so cute. Alright, good morning. It's Saturday morning. I just finished, it's like almost 11. I just finished Upright Women Wanted. It was so good. I know you gave it 4 stars. I think I was just missing a kind of little something to make it a 5 stars, but there was literally nothing wrong with this. This is essentially a Wild West futuristic dystopian. We follow a bunch of queer people who are librarians, whose official job is to take approved materials from town to town in this Wild West setting, on horseback, but they also do unapproved, like deliver unapproved materials, supplies, get people out of bad situations. They're essentially like freedom fighters. Yes, fight the state, be a librarian. And it was just so good. Our main character is Esther. She had a relationship with her best friend who was then hanged for it, but like under the guise of something else. And then so she runs away, like hides out in the librarian's cart and escapes, and they find her, and so she kind of becomes an apprentice librarian. And she's kind of got this flotation ship with Sai, who is another librarian and is non-binary, and they've got a little flotation ship going on throughout this, and it's really like a survivalist Wild West kind of like story, but super queer and fun, and oh, it was so good. I loved this. I love Sarah Gailey so much. Their work is always so amazing, and yeah, this is a new fave. I really enjoyed it, though yeah, I think it's a 4 stars, but I loved it. So my next read is Woven in Moonlight, which I've put the dust jacket back on because I'm going to film a bunch of videos today. So we'll be reading, which this will feature in. So we have Woven in Moonlight. This is a Bolivian fantasy. Do you know much else? No, not really. By Isabel Ibanez. There is, I think that she's she's like the stand-in for the Condesa. I'm really not sure about the actual like overall plot of this, but I'm so excited to read it. It's not too long. It looks chunky than it is because the pages are so lush and thick. This is only like 360 pages, so I'm going to try and read. It's the last day of the month today, so I'm going to try and read to like page 260, 300, and then start something else today if I can. Because I've got the whole day to myself, so I reckon it's possible, and I'm going to try it. I'm going to try and do it, but first off, I'm going to shower, get dressed, and film a bunch of videos. So we're going to do that first. Hey, it is like 8 o'clock, I think. 8 o'clock? Almost 8:30. I have work at 10, but I spent today filming 4 videos, edited and uploaded 2 of them, did a bunch of washing, cleaned a bunch of dishes, and so I ended up, I really wanted to be like 200 pages into this tonight, 260 pages into this really, and then start something else, but I'm like 60 pages in. It is pretty easy to get through when I'm actively reading, but I did spend a lot of time on FaceTime with April, not reading, just like scrolling Facebook and Twitter. I've been in a weird mood tonight, which kind of threw my reading plans out, because I was like, all morning gonna film, all night gonna read. It just has not been as effective. I've put on YouTube now because April's gone out for dinner with Lucas, and so I'm trying to read while watching, like having YouTube in the background because I'm home alone, so it's quiet and I forget how quiet it is until I'm home alone and I don't hear all the background noise of other people doing stuff. But I wanted to check in because I'm reading Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez, and there are some things I like and some things I don't already. I really like the world and the atmosphere, but I feel like the world building has happened, like the actual building of the world and the like setting, I guess, has happened pretty quickly. We've kind of been plopped down in the middle of a war zone where these two cultural groups in this area, I don't really know exactly what Bolivian history folklore this is based on. So there's two groups, one that was the ruling class and one that lived in the mountains. And then the ones in the mountains took this magical weapon, I guess, that let them control ghosts. This is what I mean. I've learnt so much in such a short time that I really don't think I understand. And this has all happened before the start of the plot of the book. This weapon that allowed them to wield ghosts, called an estrella, so a star, the star, they used that to take over the city, and the people who were living in the city are now living, had to flee the city and are now living in like this keep that was partially destroyed, and they're living on rations, like really tight rations, and it's been like that for a while, but they've been slowly like stealing food and things to survive. And our main character, I can't even remember her name because she doesn't go by it, Zemina, she is the decoy for the Condesa, who would obviously be the ruling group for this group. And then there's the fake king they call him, from the other group. And so we're dumped kind of they're in crisis. They're both her and the Contessa are young, like teenagers, so they haven't really been running anything. It's been this older war general, Ana, but then she went out on a mission to try and get this Estrella, and it wasn't there. Is it Estrella? Estrella? I feel like I know pronunciations and then I fuck it up. I don't know. She went out on a mission to get that before the book even started and has gone missing. That's kind of where we started, and she's gone missing. And then they get a convoy from the people in the city, this other group, that are like, you're going to come marry our king. The Condesa is going to come marry the king. And she goes, what are we going to do about it? They're holding this war general prisoner, apparently. So she goes, all right, yeah. And she takes the war general's daughter with her, who's their friend, to kind of be her handmaiden bodyguard. And the actual Contessa obviously gets left behind. She's going as the decoy. And she gets there and they were told she has to come alone. So immediately, from the moment they get there, on like page 30, the handmaiden daughter of the general gets killed. Like instantaneously, right at the start of the novel. I feel like I didn't have time to get attached, so it was like an emotional moment, but like not emotional enough. And then now we're dealing with Ximena? Is that her name? What is her name? Because she never goes by it. Ximena is like trying to deal with this king in this city as like the one person being held there, and she's trying to like figure out how she can free her people, but also it's dealing a lot with the cultural differences between the two, and she is really judgy. I'm assuming this is gonna have like, she grows to become aware that they were also oppressed and they believe themselves in the right, freeing themselves from oppression from her group. At least I hope that's where this is going, because it's definitely building up to that. But Ximena is really like a little bit of a bitch. Like, obviously she's in a tough situation. Oh my god, you have to look at Trixie. Look, look. Can you see? She's like one leg in the air and the other leg in the air. Oh, look at her. Is that comfy? Is that comfy sitting like a human? No, Mum. Yeah, so she's very judgmental of them and their culture. They have painted everything in bright colours and she's like, I hate it. There's chickens running loose and she's like, ugh, I hate it. Like, very judgmental. But I'm gonna guess the whole point is that maybe, like, there's one boy introduced from that group. There's also another boy who is, been vaguely mentioned, who is a, like, vigilante. And thinking those two are going to be love interests, either for a love triangle for her, or one for her and one for the actual Contessa. But yeah. And she makes some dumb mistakes. Like, she's supposed to be being demure and gentle as the Contessa would be, but she's like not that way. She's got to fake it. She's not very good at it. So she walks in there like guns blazing kind of thing. And then she's like, oh, I probably should have like been more respectful, whatever. Maybe then they wouldn't have killed my friend. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to read and see what I think as we keep going. I'm like enjoying the prose and I'm loving the atmosphere and the like immersion in the cultural aspects. I'm just not sure I like Ximena as a character, but we'll see. Why do I feel like, is this this is surely stereotypical and awful of me, but why do I feel like Ximena's perception of the king is like Kuzco from Emperor's New Groove? She's gonna, he's sitting on his golden throne and he's just so elevated. I just imagine him being like, you threw off my groove. Like, obviously that's not, like, she's clearly misconstruing so much stuff. And the power imbalances and how she thinks the power imbalances lie, and not the same way he sees the power imbalances. I think they're both probably in the wrong, but like she totally sees him as a Kuzco. I think it's so funny. Kuzco. Okay, so I'm going to try and talk quick because I've got like 2 minutes till my lunch arrives. But I finished this morning 2 short graphic novels by Tillie Walden. So we have I Love This Part and A City Inside. Obviously it's March 1st, so I was waiting till today so it would add onto my March 31 and 31 goal. Can we do it? Who knows? But we're off to a great start. So I finished those 2, which were both 4 stars. They're both really sweet and short, and they just communicated really well. And they just gave me feelings. They are very short. I also read Dark Warm Heart, which is a Tor short story by Rich Larson. Fucking weird. It is a W Beast, that one. Story, so it's a short story, horror, Native American horror. It was fucking gross, and I still don't quite understand what the ending was on about. Not sure. If anyone's read it, chat to me about the ending. It is available on Scribd if you are looking for a horror short story. And then I also just finished the audiobook for Dead Voices, which I was reading earlier in the week, so that it would count to March's goal. I ended up giving this 3 stars just because I feel like the writing in this series is way overly simplistic. Like, the prose doesn't flow because we have these really like short choppy sentences. I don't know whether this is like it was targeted low middle grade, so it wanted to be like easily absorbed and understood by very young readers, or if it's just because I think otherwise it's very age bridging. Like, the themes and stuff are fine. So I don't know why the choice was made to have these characters, have the prose be so simple and blunt. I don't know, not my fave. So 3 stars for that one, because the plot itself was great fun. Though it did wrap up pretty damn quick. I think my food is like basically here. And So I'm also going to try and finish Verify by Joelle Charbonneau today, and Woven in Moonlight. Can we do it? Let's try. Oh, also there's a short audiobook for a poetry collection. That'd be 7 things in one day. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? I want to check in. Trixie's trying to catch a fly in the window, but I have just finished 2 more things. So we're now at 6 things finished today. I finished Verify by Joelle Charbonneau. And they've given it 3 stars. I think mainly because the writing was a bit lackluster. It is first person, and it sometimes just made sentence choices that I was like, what? And it kind of drew me out of the story. And also the world building was kind of limited, but it was fun. It was a great, like a fun dystopian. I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for dystopians. It's nothing like mind-blowing, but it was entertaining. And then straight after that, I picked up and started and finished Say Her Name by Zetta Elliott, which is a poetry collection. And I haven't listened to a poetry collection in this like way before. But it was amazing. I gave it 5 stars. They were all super poignant and powerful. The narrator did an amazing job. This obviously focuses on the Black Lives Matter movement, and is a lot about police brutality and violence against Black people, and it was beautiful. I would 100% recommend it. It is available on Scribd. It took me, like, I listened on 2-speed and it took me like 45 minutes. It was very fast. Obviously it's a poetry collection, so it was quick. It was incredibly powerful, and the narration was amazing. So I gave that 5 stars. So I've now read 6 things today so far, or finished 6 things I should say. I'm currently still in the middle of Angel Mage, but I haven't listened to any of this today or yesterday actually. I'm listening to the audiobook of this, and it's a really unique fantasy. I'm really enjoying it, but I just finished the other things, so that's that. I'm gonna settle in and read more of Woven in Moonlight now. I've got about 200 pages left, so I'm gonna try and finish this today, is my goal. Can I finish 7 things in one day? Maybe. And then after that, my next thing is going to be Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi, which is a contemporary, new adult, I think, college age characters featuring a text-based romance. I bought this when I was in Canada from a beautiful little French-Canadian bookstore that had like half French, half English books. Like different parts of the bookstore had different things, I guess. I'm very excited to finally read it because that was a while ago now. And that's going to be my next read after Woven in Moonlight. But we're going to finish Woven in Moonlight first. But that's my goal for the rest of today. I have work in like an hour. I've still got like 1 load of washing to put on the line and some stuff like that. So I'm going to go do that and then really kick on with Woven in Moonlight. I'm excited. I'm in a much better reading mood today than I was yesterday. Yesterday I was like really having a hard time focusing, but I feel like tonight I could just slam through most of this. I work for a couple of hours at 4:30 and then again at 10, but that still leaves a lot of time to try and finish this. Can we do it? Can we do it? I say yes. Look at this. You look like a demon. Look at him with that one eye. You're right. You're so cute. Heyo, it's Monday night. I thought I'd better quickly wrap up this vlog. So last night I finished Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I really ended up enjoying it, but I do think there were a few things that didn't perfectly work for me. The main one is that I think it was trying to tackle some really big structural issues, but tried to solve it in a very like individualistic way, which I think is just not realistic. I also think the main character is intentionally unlikable from the start. Like I really didn't like her at the start, but she did grow on me, but was still a bit grating but overall my actual enjoyment reading was great. The atmosphere is amazing and the cultural immersion is like so good. This is obviously a Bolivian fantasy, and yeah, that aspect was done was so amazing and so immersive. And I also love the thing that the cover plays into, which would make more sense when you read it. I kind of don't want to give it away, but I loved that component. That was so fun. And then I also picked up and ended up DNFing last night, Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this. It obviously has mixed reviews, and I got about 30 pages in and I just really, the writing style was not gelling with me. I think my biggest problem is that a main character, or one of the main characters, Penny, is a very, I don't want to say like negative Nancy, but she's very pessimistic, and it really comes across in her writing style. She's very judgmental and pessimistic, and so much so that the writing style, while trying to like develop that, made me hyper aware it was a writing style. So I was constantly like aware of the specific choices of words and the way things were like negatively addressed. Like, I don't know, let me see if I can find an example where I would say something like, yeah, like, well, she's specifically talking about how stupid her mother is and stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Celeste ran regional operations for multinational events planning agency, spoke in hashtags, and was frequently dressed as if attending a boy band concert. That was her way. It just seems super condescending. And specifically in Penny's perspective. And it was constant. Like, just further down, just one example. Last Valentine's Day, Mr. Hemphill, the ancient mailman, presented Celeste with a tiny box of drugstore chocolates. It was the size of a mouse coffin with 4 oxidized bonbons inside, and he kept mentioning the Vietnam War as though they had something in common. It was clear that he wanted to wear their skin, and as far as Penny was concerned, this was the last guy you wanted knowing where you lived. Like, yeah, I get that, like, he's fetishizing the fact that they're Asian, but like, all of it is done in such a like condescending way. Her mum was the equivalent of a feather boa or human glitter. There's so many more. Oh, like this bit about her boyfriend. Mark smoked a lot of weed and had a brain like a sieve, which was unfortunate. Even the cute things that would have made good inside jokes were forgotten, like how autocorrect Miss Frank kept changing goddammit to God donut. So when Penny sent the donut emoji as an expletive, he only ever thought she was hungry. Some people might love this writing style, but it really, like, I was so aware of it and it pulled me right on out of the story. And I was just spending my whole time obsessing over the writing choices. Like, why was it chosen like that? And so I wasn't enjoying myself. So I DNF'd it. Somebody will definitely love that. I obviously don't rate things I DNF, so you won't find it rating. But yeah, I just really didn't gel with it. It didn't vibe. I know April loved that book, but it didn't vibe with me. So that was my Sunday reading. I'm gonna wrap this vlog up here and I'll chat to you next week with another reading vlog. Bye.